everyone, Shanna here, welcoming you to another episode of Worthy Asian, a safe space to talk about generational trauma, Asian parenting styles, and finding our way to healing and knowing our worth. This week we're talking about self-love. Being that Valentine's Day is tomorrow, we often focus on love and relationships with partners. But what about the love and relationship we have with ourselves? Do you love yourself? When I'm asked this question, I always stutter and hesitate. Like, oh, that's uncomfortable. Well, I must. Of course I do, right? But it's never a resounding, yes, I do. What's not to love? We are truly our own worst critics. But I don't think our upbringing helped at all. If your childhood was similar to mine, then we were starved for affection, and rarely, if ever, did we hear the words, I love you. When we grow up learning that we only get love when we are perfect, or when we meet expectations and do things for others, or when we accomplish certain achievements, that belief remains in our core as adults. Even though our rational mind might know better, we still grow up thinking that love is conditional. We grow up not knowing how to love ourselves because it felt like nobody loved us. We are not lovable. So I just wanted to make it clear and say that if anybody needs to hear this, including myself, you are lovable. You are worthy. You are enough. Just for being you, just for existing. Even if you did nothing your entire life but just breathed air. You are worthy of love. Your actions, accomplishments, appearance, they do not define your worth. You are lovable. Period. I used to dream about what my life would have been like if I had grown up feeling loved. How different would I be now? What kind of amazing life would I lead now? In this dream, there is brightness. There is potential there that I can never attain. I used to feel like I was damaged goods. And so I would feel like this brightness and this potential was not meant for people like me who are damaged. But what I need to learn to understand is that that ship has sailed. That ship of wanting love as a child has sailed. We can't go back and change our past and what others did, or even what others are currently doing. It feels like we need that love, that approval of others in order to love ourselves, in order to know we can be loved, in order to thrive. It feels like because we didn't get those things, we are not able to go for the life we want. But that is simply not true. Did we need love when we were kids? Absolutely. But the reality is a lot of us did not get that love we needed. And maybe we still aren't, and we never will. Because unfortunately, our parents are just not capable of that. And maybe that does set us back because we now have roadblocks like negative thinking and self-doubt. But we are adults now that can give ourselves what we needed back then. And there is no potential that we cannot tap into when we can do this for ourselves, when we can love ourselves. So now I stop, or I try to anyway, because we all have our dark moments. I stop dreaming of what kind of life I could have had if I had grown up feeling loved. Now I try to imagine a world, a life that I can live when, not if, when I truly love myself, when I'm confident in myself and know my worth. A life where I don't play small to get breadcrumbs of love from others. A life full of love I have given myself, and it's so full I am able to give it back to others wholeheartedly, and love just surrounds me. And that life seems even brighter than the previous one I dreamt about. And this is a dream I know I can achieve, unlike the other. But loving yourself, that's no easy feat. I can easily tell you 1,001 things I detest about myself, my body, my habits, my thinking, everything. If I thought about it really hard, I could maybe give you 5 things I liked about myself. And see, it's even hard for me to say love. So here's an exercise we can all do to work on this. And I'm sorry, not sorry, to say that it does involve looking in the mirror. I can honestly say I barely look at myself in the mirror other than to brush my teeth. I didn't like what I saw in the mirror. I've recently lost 20 pounds of baby weight, and that's made it easier for me to look at my reflection. But before then, I hated what I saw. I couldn't stand the sight of my reflection. And though I'm proud of the weight loss because I worked damn hard, but I'm still not at my goal weight. I still don't have a flat belly. And so, no, I can't say that I love what I see. But is there a way for me to change these feelings, these negative feelings and thoughts I have for myself? I think so. And the truth is, these exercises are uncomfortable. You're going to feel silly, but I highly encourage you to just give it a try. What do you have to lose? 5 minutes of your time? And what we've been doing before, ignoring our feelings, pushing through, distracting, it's not working. So maybe it's time to try something new. And the first few times you do it, you'll probably feel uncomfortable, find it hard, and not that enjoyable. But like with any new habit or skill, it just takes time and it takes practice. This is a lifelong journey. It took you many years to get to this place where you don't love yourself. So it will take time to undo that as well. The reality is that this won't be a fast-acting miracle cure. We got to put in the work, but we are not used to sitting still. We're not used to asking ourselves questions about how we feel. We are not used to looking at ourselves in the mirror and thinking positive thoughts. And so, yes, it will be uncomfortable, but I want you to commit and do this exercise with 110% effort, and then tell me how you feel afterwards. Because I'm willing to bet that you will feel better. And anyone who knows me knows that I am not a betting kind of girl. I only bet on a sure thing because I have issues about needing to be right. And it's important to note that this change or you feeling better, it might not be revolutionary. It might not be life-changing in that very moment. It will be life-changing down the road when you reflect back on a month of consistently doing this. You will see the results. You will see the difference. Much like going to the gym. You go to the gym once, you are probably not going to like it. It's going to be hard. You're going to be sore after. And you're not going to notice a change on the scale or the change in your appearance. But you will likely see that in a month's time of consistently going to the gym. And this is very much the same. You just have to keep doing it. So to get started, find a spot in front of a mirror. And it's best if you can find one that you can see your whole body in, but get whatever works for you. And make it as comfortable as possible. So usually I might get a pillow to sit on, for example. I also encourage you to have a pen and paper so that you can write things down, because writing things down just makes it more solidified instead of just thinking, because thoughts are fleeting, and if we can write things down, then we are physically putting it out into the world. You might find dating and keeping a record of this beneficial to your reflection and growth. And I would also encourage you to write down how you're feeling about this exercise. Do you think this is silly? Are you feeling hopeful? Or do you think it won't work? Whatever, it's all valid. But then I want you to say out loud that you commit to doing this exercise to the best of your ability, regardless of how you feel about it. And then, as a nurse, I have a scale question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good do you feel about yourself right now? 10 being high. And write that number down. Okay, are you ready? These are the 6 steps to loving yourself more. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look at yourself in the mirror, and you're going to look at your body, and you're going to write something down that you love about your body. Is it your smile, your hair, how strong you are? It can be anything, even something small and random, like the shape of your fingernails or something like that. Whatever it is, big or small, there is something you love about your body, even if it feels like you don't. Number 2, you are going to write something that you love about what you do, whether it is work or a hobby, a skill that you do that you love. Is it related to your job? Or are you good at cooking? Are you an artist? And then write down, what do you love about this particular thing that you do? Do you love that you've been able to master this certain skill? Do you love that it allows you to be creative or allow you to share an experience with someone else? Number 3, write down something you love about your personality. Do you love that you care a lot about others, or that you laugh like crazy over little things, or are you always up for an adventure? What makes you uniquely and lovably you? Number 4, this one is good to write down and say out loud because it's about acknowledging and praising yourself. Acknowledge and praise yourself for something that you have done, because it may have been common growing up to not experience this. And so we don't know how to do that for ourselves. We just brush things off that we've done like it's no big deal. I think our parents thought that if they gave us praise, then it would just get to our heads and we would get cocky and we would stop achieving things. They couldn't see that perhaps we could achieve from a place of joy and pride and abundance versus achieve from a place of scarcity and from needing their attention and love. So did you just get a promotion? Or did you just finish a challenging marathon or hike? And this exercise is for everyday, seemingly small things too. Like, did you eat only 2 cookies instead of the whole box? Or did you manage to complete this exercise in its entirety? See what I did there? So just think of something that you have done and you just want to give yourself kudos for, and then do it. Number 5, write down something that you've been teased about or made fun of, because it makes you stand out or makes you unique, but you actually like it about yourself. This one might be hard, but I really believe that if you can find something that you love about yourself that is unique despite what others may say, there is a lot of power in that. For me, it's my toes. My friends and family tease me, mostly lovingly, about my toes because they are generally all the same height, and so I have wide, flat feet. They call them my mountain feet, but that doesn't really make sense to me because mountains are of different heights, right? So the joke's on them. Anyway, that's besides the point. The point is, I actually really like my toes. So when my friends want to tease me and ask me to bust out my toes to show other people how weird they are, I'm not that embarrassed because I love them. Hopefully that wasn't too much information, but it just goes to show that I'm just not that bothered about talking about my toes that people make fun of. And I feel a lot of power and self-love by being able to say that. And then number 6. Last but not least, hopefully now you have a list of things that you love about yourself and you're feeling good and hyped up. And so good, in fact, that you're now able to look yourself in the eye in the mirror and you can say out loud, I love you. You are lovable, just the way you are. And if you feel uncomfortable, say that too. This makes me feel uncomfortable, but I am committed to trying this. And so I am going to do it anyway. I love you. I'm working on loving you better. I'm working on making this feel more comfortable. And now, just like how you might have documented how you felt prior to the exercise, document how you feel after. Is there a shift in that scale, even if it's just 0.5? I really hope you take some time to actually do this. Because if you're like me, you're probably listening to this podcast while you're on the go. But I'm a firm believer in putting new habits and new thoughts into physical actions. So writing it down or saying it out loud. You need to bring that inner work to the outer world. Our minds are powerful. Our negative thoughts are loud. But when we put our body in motion to change our inner thoughts, when our voice is louder than all the noise in our head, that's when change can happen. Actions speak louder than thoughts. Now, I know I did a little bit of rambling, and so I want to just recap all the steps and put it in a succinct list for you here so it's easier to follow. So first things first is find a mirror, get comfortable, have a pen and paper, and write down the date and how are you feeling. How are you feeling about this exercise? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how good do you feel about yourself? How much do you love yourself? 10 being high. Now say out loud how you're going to fully commit and give this exercise a try, regardless of how you feel about it. And then, number 1, look in the mirror and write something down that you love about your body. Number 2, write down something you love about something you do, whether it's work, hobby, or skill. Number 3, write something down that you love about your personality. Number 4, write down and say out loud something that you have done that you are proud of, and tell yourself how proud you are. Number 5, Write down something that someone might be teasing you about, but is actually something that you love about yourself. Number 6. Look at this list that you have compiled, and now look at yourself in the mirror and say out loud to yourself, I love you. You are lovable, just the way you are. Then acknowledge how you feel. Was it uncomfortable saying these things to yourself? It's all valid, so just say it out loud and tell yourself that you are working on getting better at loving yourself. And last but not least, you write down how you feel now after the exercise, and you write down a new number on that scale and take some time to reflect, whether there is a change or not. And finally, just another gentle reminder that you might not experience big changes right away, and that this is something we have to practice and get in the habit of before we notice a difference. That's why I encourage you to date when you do this exercise, and I encourage you to try it again, whether it's tomorrow or a week from now, and see as time goes on how you may be different from when you first started. As always, thank you for sharing your time with me. I would love to connect with you on Instagram at worthyasianpodcast to hear any questions, ideas, or stories you have. And if you'd like a space to be able to share, receive, or give support, please join and help build our community in the Worthy Asian Facebook group. If you found this podcast helpful, please subscribe, share, or leave a review so more people can find us. I'll be back next Monday. So until then, take care, talk soon, and much love from a fellow Worthy Asian.